Stop for just a moment, because what you are about to hear may save your peace, your safety, and your money in the years when all three become more precious than applause. After 65, ownership begins to change its meaning. When you are younger, owning many things can feel like progress. A bigger house, extra furniture, boxes of memories, a second vehicle, collections, tools, jewelry, land, equipment, and rooms filled with proof that you worked hard and built a life. But age has a way of asking a quieter question. Do these things still serve me, or am I now serving them? Many seniors do not become overwhelmed because they lack discipline. They become overwhelmed because they spent decades gathering the objects of different seasons and never had a clear moment to release what no longer belongs to the life they are actually living. Every object carries a hidden cost. It may cost space, insurance, repairs, worry, dusting, taxes, conflict, decisions, or emotional energy. Some things once represented success, but later become silent burdens. Some things once brought pride, but later become risk. Some things once held memories, but later become chains. And after a certain age, wisdom begins when you stop asking what something is worth on paper and start asking what it is costing your peace. This is not a message about becoming empty, cold, or throwing away the story of your life. Your home should still contain warmth. Your memories still matter. Beauty still matters. Comfort still matters. But Stoic wisdom teaches that possessions should remain servants, never masters. When a thing demands more attention than it gives peace, it has quietly changed roles. When a thing makes your children argue before you are even gone, it has become more than an object. When a thing keeps you awake with worry, maintenance, or fear, it may be time to let it leave your hands while your mind is still clear enough to choose. AI prompt, photorealistic cinematic interior shot, 16:9 aspect ratio, a warmly decorated but uncluttered living room with a single comfortable armchair, a soft lamp, a small framed photo on a side table, and a window showing a peaceful garden outside, soft golden warm light, mood is calm, dignified, and serene, realistic and cinematic, no readable text, no brand logos. The first thing many seniors should consider selling immediately is the extra vehicle they rarely use but still insure, maintain, clean, repair, register, and worry about. Maybe it is an old car in the garage, a truck kept for projects you no longer do, a motorhome that once carried beautiful trips, a motorcycle from younger days, or a second vehicle kept because you might need it someday. At one time, it made sense. It represented freedom, independence, adventure, usefulness, or memory. But after 65, an unused vehicle can become a slow financial leak disguised as sentiment. You may not notice the cost because it arrives in pieces. A battery dies. Tires age. Registration comes due. Insurance renews. Fuel goes bad. Repairs appear. A relative asks to borrow it. A neighbor comments that it is sitting unused. A child hints that they could use it. The vehicle becomes a topic, a task, a responsibility. Even when it does not move, it occupies mental space. It quietly asks, "What are you going to do with me?" And each year you postpone the answer, its value may decline while its burden remains. There is also a deeper emotional attachment. Selling an unused vehicle can feel like admitting a season has ended. Maybe the motorhome means you no longer travel the way you once dreamed. Maybe the truck means the heavy projects are finished. Maybe the motorcycle means the body has changed. Maybe the extra car belonged to a spouse, a parent, or a chapter you are not ready to release. This is why the decision hurts. You are not only selling metal. You are touching memory. But memory does not live inside the engine. Memory lives in you. A vehicle can be sold while the story remains sacred. The road trips, the laughter, the work, the person who sat beside you, the places you saw, all of that can remain without the physical burden sitting in your driveway. Sometimes selling is not betrayal. It is honoring the object by allowing it to be useful elsewhere instead of slowly decaying while you pay for nostalgia. After 65, freedom may no longer mean owning every tool of movement. Freedom may mean fewer bills, fewer risks, fewer keys, and less clutter standing between you and a calmer life. The second thing seniors should consider selling is the expensive furniture, formal dining sets, display cabinets, oversized bedroom suites, and heavy household items that no longer match the way life is lived now. For many years, people bought furniture to build a respectable home. A large table for family gatherings. A china cabinet for special dishes. Heavy sofas for guests. Extra beds for visitors. Cabinets filled with plates used twice a year. These things once carried dignity. They said, "I have a home. I can host. I have built something stable." But after 65 or 70, the house may become quieter. Holidays may happen elsewhere. Guests may visit less often. Children may not want the old furniture. Grandchildren may not care about the cabinet or the dishes. The heavy table may no longer gather people the way it once did. Yet you continue moving around it, dusting it, protecting it, and living inside a home designed for a chapter that has passed. Heavy furniture can also become a safety issue. Crowded rooms, sharp corners, narrow walking paths, slippery rugs, unstable chairs, and cluttered hallways can turn a familiar home into an obstacle course. This is painful because furniture often carries the fantasy of family closeness. People keep large dining rooms because they hope everyone will come home. They keep guest rooms because they hope visits will become frequent. They keep formal sets because selling them feels like giving up on gatherings. But love cannot be stored in furniture. A big table cannot force conversation. A guest bed cannot create devotion. A cabinet full of dishes cannot make people value your presence. If the furniture no longer serves your actual life, it may be holding space that peace could occupy. Sell what is too heavy, too unused, too unsafe, or too tied to an old image of yourself. Keep what you truly use, what makes daily life easier, and what brings warmth without burden. Replace weight with simplicity. Clear walking paths. Create rooms that support the body you have now, not the body you had 30 years ago. A home in later life should not be a museum of former responsibilities. It should be a refuge. Every item should earn its place by serving safety, comfort, beauty, memory, or peace. If it does none of these, letting it go may be one of the kindest things you do for your future self. The third thing many seniors should sell is collections that have become more work than joy. Coins, stamps, figurines, antiques, watches, tools, books, records, dolls, glassware, sports cards, old electronics, decorations, or anything gathered over decades with care and hope. Collections can be beautiful. They can represent patience, taste, curiosity, and a lifetime of noticing what others overlook. But there comes a time when every collector must ask, does this collection still bring me life, or has it become a silent storage problem my family will one day have to solve? This question matters because many collections have emotional value to the owner but confusion value to everyone else. You may know the story behind each piece, but your children may see boxes. You may know which item is rare, which was a bargain, which came from a special trip, and which has a hidden history. But if that knowledge lives only in your head, the collection can become vulnerable. After you are gone, or if your health changes suddenly, someone else may sell valuable pieces too cheaply, throw meaningful items away, or feel overwhelmed by decisions they never learned how to make. The collection that once gave you joy may become their burden and your legacy may be reduced to stress. Selling does not mean you must erase everything. It means you may need to become the wise steward of your own story while you still can. Choose the best pieces. Document their meaning. Give a few to people who genuinely appreciate them. Sell the rest with intention. Use the money for comfort, travel, health, debt reduction, home safety, or experiences that still bring life. There is dignity in deciding yourself, rather than leaving confused heirs to guess what mattered. There is also a trap of imagined value. Many people believe their collections are worth far more than the market will pay. This is not foolishness. It is human. Love adds value that strangers do not see. Years of searching, buying, organizing, and caring create emotional investment. But a thing is not always financially valuable because it is emotionally valuable. If you wait too long, the market may shift, buyers may disappear, condition may decline, and your ability to manage the sale may weaken. Sometimes the wisest time to sell is not when you are forced, but when you are still strong enough to choose calmly. The fourth thing seniors should consider selling is property, land, storage units, or second homes that drain money, attention, and family peace. This may be the hardest category because property often feels permanent. Land feels like legacy. A second home feels like success. A storage unit feels like temporary protection. A rental property feels like income. But after 65, every property must be judged honestly. Is it truly serving you, or are you serving it? Is it bringing reliable benefit, or constant worry? Is it creating income, or quietly consuming time, repairs, taxes, fees, insurance, travel, management, and emotional energy? A storage unit is especially dangerous because it hides the truth behind a monthly payment. People keep paying because the payment seems small compared with the task of sorting everything. But years pass, and the contents often become worth less than the fees paid to protect them. A unit filled with old furniture, boxes, decorations, broken items, and forgotten papers may not be storage. It may be postponed grief, postponed decisions, postponed letting go. Each payment buys another month of avoidance. Second homes and unused land can carry similar burdens. Maybe you bought land for a dream that no longer fits your body, budget, or family situation. Maybe you kept a property because you imagined children would use it. Maybe a vacation place now requires travel you no longer enjoy. Maybe a rental brings problems that exceed the income. Maybe family members argue about what should happen with it. Property can bless a life, but it can also become an anchor tied to the ankle of your peace. Selling property is not always the answer, and you should make such decisions carefully with proper professional advice. But the question must be asked without fear. If a property is creating more stress than security, more conflict than legacy, more cost than benefit, and more confusion than peace, then holding it simply because it once symbolized success may not be wisdom. A legacy is not measured only by what you leave behind. It is also measured by how much peace you protect while you are still alive. Sometimes converting a burden into simplicity is wiser than forcing your final years to manage something your heart no longer truly wants. The fifth thing many seniors should sell immediately is anything valuable that attracts pressure, conflict, theft, manipulation, or family entitlement while giving you little daily joy. This may include jewelry you never wear, gold pieces kept in drawers, expensive watches, valuable art, firearms where legal but no longer safely managed, rare instruments, luxury items, or high-value objects known to relatives who have already begun calculating their future. These items may be beautiful, but beauty is not the only question. The question is whether they are bringing you peace or creating risk. Some valuables become family magnets. One child assumes they will receive the ring. Another wants the watch. A cousin mentions the painting. A grandchild asks about the coin set. People may not say everything openly, but you feel the air change when certain objects are discussed. You begin to worry about fairness, theft, resentment, hidden expectations, and what will happen when you are not here to explain. If an item is deeply meaningful and safely protected, keep it. But if it sits unused while quietly attracting anxiety, maybe it should be sold, gifted intentionally, or documented clearly before it becomes a battlefield. Selling certain valuables can feel like losing status or family history. But ask yourself, would I rather protect an object or protect peace? Would I rather leave confusion or leave clarity? Would I rather keep something hidden in a drawer until others fight over it, or decide its future with calm hands? Sometimes the most loving decision is to sell a valuable item, use the money for your own care, or distribute gifts while you can see the gratitude with your own eyes. You do not have to wait until death for your belongings to have meaning. You can turn them into usefulness now. Now, as you listen, you may feel resistance. You may think, I worked hard for these things. Why should I sell them? That is a fair question. The answer is not that you must sell everything. The answer is that you should no longer keep anything out of fear, guilt, habit, or an old identity. You worked hard for these things, yes. That is exactly why they should not be allowed to work against you. Your possessions should protect dignity, not drain it. They should support freedom, not reduce it. They should simplify life, not make your final years feel like a warehouse of unfinished decisions. There is a quiet grief in letting things go. Nobody should mock it. Objects become witnesses. A chair remembers a spouse. A car remembers freedom. A table remembers children before they grew up. A watch remembers work. Selling something may feel like telling those memories they no longer matter. But memories do not disappear because objects leave. You can take photographs, write the story, keep one meaningful piece, and release the rest. The Stoic path asks us to face impermanence before life forces it upon us. Everything you own will one day leave your hands. The question is whether it will leave through wisdom, urgency, illness, conflict, or confusion. When you choose to sell calmly, you are not losing control. You are exercising it. You are saying, I will not leave every decision to chance. I will not let my children guess. I will not let clutter decide the mood of my home. I will not let unused things consume money that could protect my care, comfort, and independence. Before selling, move carefully. Do not let pressure push you into rushed decisions. Get fair appraisals for valuable items. Speak with trusted professionals where needed. Be careful of buyers who sense vulnerability. Do not sign away property, vehicles, or valuables without understanding the terms. Do not let relatives bully you into gifts disguised as convenience. Selling immediately does not mean selling carelessly. It means stop delaying honest evaluation. It means wake up before time, health, or family conflict makes the choice harder. One practical exercise can help. Walk through your home slowly and ask each item 3 questions. Do I use this? Does it bring real joy or peace? Would it burden someone I love if I left it behind without explanation? If the answer is no to the first 2 and yes to the third, then the item is asking for a decision. Not someday. Not when life becomes chaotic. Now, while your mind is clear and your choices are still yours. This process may also reveal something deeper. Many seniors discover that the real burden is not possessions. It is the identity attached to possessions. The unused truck says, I was capable. The large table says, I was the center of family gatherings. The collection says, I had passion. Selling these things can feel like selling pieces of yourself. But you are not the truck, the table, or the collection. You are the life that used them and now has the wisdom to release them. After letting go, many people experience something unexpected. Space. Rooms breathe again. Bills reduce. Decisions become fewer. Family expectations become clearer. Cleaning becomes easier. Walking paths become safer. The mind feels lighter. What looked like loss begins to feel like freedom. You may realize that you were not holding your possessions. They were holding you. Here at Stoic Beacon, we believe that later life should be protected from unnecessary burden. You have carried enough. You have paid enough, repaired enough, stored enough, dusted enough, defended enough, and worried enough. Your final chapters deserve simplicity with dignity. Not fear of ownership, but ownership guided by wisdom. If you own an unused vehicle, heavy furniture, burdensome collections, draining property or storage, or valuable items that bring more risk than joy, look at them honestly. Some may still deserve a place in your life. But some are waiting to be released. Selling them may protect your finances, reduce conflict, improve safety, and return peace to rooms that have become crowded with the past. Do not wait until illness, emergency, or family pressure makes decisions for you. Do not leave your loved ones a mountain of confusion when you could leave them clarity. Do not spend the strongest remaining years maintaining objects that no longer maintain you. Let wisdom choose what stays. Let courage release what goes. Let your home become lighter while your heart remains full. Thank you for spending this time with Stoic Beacon. May you have the clarity to see what still serves you, the courage to sell what quietly burdens you, and the peace to understand that letting go of things is not letting go of your life. It is making room for the life still here, still breathing, still worthy of calm, safe, uncluttered days. May your remaining years be rich in freedom, order, and the joy of owning only what belongs in true peace.